All right, ladies and gentlemen, MrSotko here. Welcome back to the channel. Got a whole bunch of good news stuff for you today, and it is a good day in the crypto world. Is the December bull run cometh? That is the question. So I always believe that there's sort of at the end of every year, if you check the charts of Bitcoin, etc., there's usually always some kind of bull run, November, December, or at least early January. And I was sort of waiting for that moment to come, and I think we may have reached the bottom of our prices, but who knows if that is just going to be carved off the top or not. Either way, whatever you look at it objectively, it's been a good day for crypto. We have gone up some 20 billion on the market cap. As you can see, everything is up substantially. Bitcoin at 15%, Litecoin at 18%. We even have Tron for some reason still that exists at 31%. Looking at the highest, Verge for some reason is really pumped. I guess my video yesterday talking about Verge made everybody just buy it. I highly doubt it, but still funny to think about. So huge gains all across the board. Virtually no losers. In fact, the only losers are stable coins, USD and True USD, and of course, and Bitcoin SV. That's funny because I think Bitcoin SV the other day, the pump from that was probably from Craig Wright and N-Chain and gang of people just buying it to make it look better than it is. But it's like the only coin that's down, for the most part, at least in the top 100. So are we going to see a bull run here for December? Now, is it going to go to 20,000? I highly doubt it. You know, we might get like 8,000 or something if there is a true bull run. Otherwise, this might be just people just going to start carving off the top here once we go up another 100 or 200 bucks. So we'll have to see how this is going to play out. However, I do see that there is a volume of about 3,400 or 4,000 or so Bitcoin on the CBOE futures market, which is going to expire on the 19th. So I believe that that's going to be probably the day that it's going to dump for the rest of the year. And then, unfortunately, we have January and February. And if BACT does not raise prices of crypto, does not raise the price of Bitcoin, etc., then I think we're in for quite a long bull run indeed, or rather bear run indeed. So moving on to the article of the day. Bitcoin ETF may not pass due to risk of manipulation, says an SEC chairman. So the other day I was talking about the SEC and how one of the chairmen was pretty bullish on crypto and she really supported it, and apparently another guy does not so much. So there you go. Great. I love the 50-50. I love the swaying. So speaking at the New York Consensus Invest 2018, SEC Chairman Jay Clayton outlined the risks associated with Bitcoin trading and the supposed lack of investor protection. So what investors expect is that the trading in that commodity that's underlying the ETF is trading that makes sense, is free from risk, or significant risk of manipulation. Those kinds of safeguards don't exist in the many of the markets where digital currencies trade. And that's kind of true. And there's a lot of risk of hacking and stuff, which really doesn't happen with fiat, at least not particularly often. Another thing says, we've seen some thefts around digital assets, which make you scratch your head. We care that the assets underlying the ETF have good custody and they're not going to disappear. Again, that's another concern. You know, things, well, the first one was risk of manipulation. The second one here is that digital assets could be stolen very easily. It's really ironic that cryptocurrencies can be stolen and hacked so easily when it's virtually physically impossible to hack a Bitcoin public key, to actually physically guess it with computer work like, you know, like brute forcing. You'll never do it. You'll never do it. At least not a specific Bitcoin address. Maybe after 100 years you'll get lucky and you'll score a public key address. But for the most part, it's virtually impossible to physically guess a public key. There's just way too many characters. So another thing says it precludes, oh my God, I can talk, I promise, investors from accessing Bitcoin through an exchange-listed avenue that offers predictability, transparency, and ease of entry and exit. So they want to put crypto in a box, commenting on the appearance of Chairman Clayton at the Consensus Invest conference, where lawyers Stephen Pally and Louis Cohen, as well as a Wall Street veteran, Caitlin Long, who expressed their thoughts on the issues of custody regulation and the overall market legislation. The tension between the traditional finance system wants crypto to fall into a nice box. They all understand and plays nicely with their rules, and it just doesn't. This wild animal doesn't really fit nicely, and we have to come to terms with that. So exactly, the institutionalization of Bitcoin is difficult. It wasn't made for the institutionalization of itself, I suppose. There's public keys, there's private keys, there's these different systems in which you have to store it and retrieve it, if you will. So it's not the same thing, and they're not used to that. And that's okay. That's really okay. So like Bitcoin ETFs probably are a lot further out than we think they are, just because of these reasons listed. And I find it hard to disagree with them. I mean, there is a huge risk of manipulation. What if there's ETFs and things going on, and people are manipulating the price up and down and up and down? And the kind of investors that want to put money into this sort of thing do not want to lose money. These are smart investors that have a lot of money that they cannot risk it just dumping down to nothing, which is true and can be easily stolen if they have the private keys as well. So they have to work around that and make sure that people own their own private keys. I would feel that that's sort of a very pertinent aspect of it. So moving on to the next article here, major video card supplier enters the cryptocurrency mining business. So Sapphire Technology, one of the largest suppliers of AMD-based GPUs in the world, has announced that it's officially entering the crypto hardware business. Sapphire's new rig, the INCA CS14 blockchain compute system. So horrible. Just call it something. Why? Blockchain computes. Okay. All right. I'm sorry. That just really killed me. Features 14 RX 470 GPUs. Not bad. And comes preloaded with the Linux operating system and mining software. Unfortunately, by the time this thing comes out, the hash rates are going to be, the same, but the difficulty, we'll have to see. It is expected to deliver a hash power of 410 mega hash, which I'm assuming is on Ethereum, plus or minus 5%. With power consumption set at roughly 1,950 watts. The company claims that it has put over 15 years of know-how manufacturing state-of-the-art graphics cards into the development of the new cryptocurrency mining rig. The system appears to be designed with professional mining farms in mind, as it employs a range of data center optimization technologies. It's compatible with standard racks made by most vendors, and the airflow is optimized for large configurations. All the cables are installed in one direction and enables power management and monitoring down to the individual rig outlet. So, pretty interesting. You can kind of see it here. They have a ton of 470s in there. So this is kind of their way to say, hey, AMD, look how we can sell off all of your graphics cards when everybody else is returning them, when everybody else is selling them, when everybody else is not buying them and getting rid of them. Look how we can soup up your system here. Look, they got one graphics card in the back there for a monitor. Pretty clever looking little system here, in my opinion. Not bad, because I've seen some efforts on other manufacturers and stuff to do something similar, and it always turns out a little disappointing. But 14 470s is really not too bad. But the problem is is the price of crypto going to go back up? Difficulty is going to go back up with it, so this thing isn't going to make that much. But it is made in mind, again, for the professional mining farms. You can see you could stack these, a ton of these. All the air goes out the back. Everything's accessible from one end. So not too bad. Kind of interesting. So cryptocurrencies will survive and gain wider acceptance, says Alliance Chief Economic Advisor. Institutions establishing a foothold. So in fact, El Rian thinks that the recent meltdown was a predictable part of the cycle and even healthy for the market. The increased demand for crypto, which pushed Bitcoin prices towards 20,000 in turn, spurred an oversupply, resulting in the current sell-off. And so despite the slump, which has seen retail investors grow more cautious and even abandon the platform, interest from institutional investors is growing, and the participation of institutions in various crypto projects is a good sign. So he disclosed that he had opened a Bitcoin account with $400 for the purchase of testing the platform. He concluded that there is a place for Bitcoin and crypto, and it will see wider adoption, but not as a usurper. So he says, I think cryptocurrencies will exist, and they'll become more and more widespread, but they'll be part of an ecosystem. They will not dominate. They will not be dominant as some of the early adopters believe them to be. Which is kind of true, in my opinion. I find it hard to believe that crypto is going to take over the world, at least anytime soon, as fiat is way bigger. The market cap of crypto is actually relatively small. I mean, I know we see 141 billion there, but that's honestly really nothing compared to the world. So he stressed that, in his view, we should consider cryptocurrencies as commodities and not currencies. He added that cryptocurrency would not replace money, and that this had initially made him skeptical about Bitcoin. It was presented to him as a global currency, but does it feel it has the intrinsic attributes of a currency? And, you know, true. In some ways, true. It is not stable. Now, I know other currencies and fiat currencies in the world undergo inflation, as the U.S. and other nations are constantly producing money, and therefore your dollar is no longer has the power of $1. You know, they say that $1 has the buying power of 10 cents that it did in like 1912. So they do lose money over time, but they are stable. We have to admit that your fiat currency in your wallet is stable. Now, you know, I have $1 in my pocket, and I can go to the store today and buy $1 worth of something, and which doesn't really get you much. Mind you, it doesn't get you much. But I know that the next day I can do the same. And the next day I can do the same. And I can do that for months on end. And then maybe one day the product that I buy is no longer $1, it's $1.10. Well, that's not necessarily inflation. That's just, it kind of is, but it's just them wanting more money. And that's okay. But it just goes to show that like my money is going to be my money pretty much for a long foreseeable period of time. Now, every year, supposedly, inflation is about 3%, at least in the United States. I had an investor tell me one time that, you know, if you have your money in a savings account and you're only making like 1% interest or something, you're actually losing money. You're literally losing money. You would have been better off spending your $10,000 rather than put it in a savings account, because 3% interest over the course of 1 year means your $10,000 is actually worth slightly less. So it's better off if you're going to invest, you know, obviously put it into stocks or mutual stock or some kind of investment or IRA or something like that. And that way you're actually getting more money and not just the inflation level. So savings accounts are kind of a joke. They're really just screwing you over, and the inflation doesn't match it. But for the most part, you get what I'm saying, that it's pretty stable. Let's just say that it doesn't go from 10,000 of itself to 20,000 of itself to 6,000 of itself to 3,000, and then so on. So it's kind of hard to say that Bitcoin is a real good currency. It's a store of value. It's a system at which we can trade. It's a system at which we can make our own money. It's a system at which we can send money across a border and nobody can stop us doing that. So there is a ton of intrinsic values to Bitcoin, but as a daily currency, not so good just yet. There are a lot of other cryptocurrencies that are better than that. So when you're talking about cryptocurrencies as a currency, it's best to not talk about Bitcoin as the best currency in that sense. So SteamIt, a social media platform built on top of a distributed ledger, which I have a SteamIt, which I don't think anybody knows that I have a SteamIt because nobody follows me on SteamIt, and that's okay. Most of these platforms like SteamIt, where you can go and vlog and blog and stuff for Steam, for cryptocurrency, are not that lucrative for most people, even for myself, which is really crazy. I mean, I don't find myself like in the industry like I'm like the biggest figure in the world or anything. Obviously, there's YouTubers with way more subscribers than me in the cryptocurrency field, but I tried BitTube and DTube and stuff like that, like the other, you know, like YouTube knockoffs that are like cryptocurrency, and people are always like, hey, why don't you post to BitTube? Why don't you post to DTube and stuff like that? And I always have to tell them, I have to upload my videos to that platform. I have to tag my videos, make the description, upload a thumbnail and all that stuff. So not only do they have to do that on YouTube, but I have to do that on BitTube and DTube and stuff as well. The problem is that I'll take a look at my revenue that I got, and I made like 7 cents in a week on BitTube because nobody upvotes, nobody watches them on there. So, you know, for most people, those platforms are not going to beat YouTube. There's just no way. It's just not going to happen. It's not worth my time to put things on there for 7 cents. Although I do post to SteamIt every day. So if you guys use SteamIt, you can follow me on there. It's like the first time I've ever shilled SteamIt. Steam. SteamIt, a community announcement. Ned Scott, the CEO and co-founder, outlined its challenges and plans. So basically, SteamIt lays off 70% of their staff. So given the weakness of the cryptocurrency market, the fiat returns on our automated selling of Steam diminishing, and the growing cost of running full Steam nodes, we have been forced to lay off close to 70% of the team. So the SteamIt platform has existed since 2016 of July, excuse me, and became a prominent hub for crypto-related information. And I do like SteamIt. It is nice. The platform, one of the projects by Dan Larimer, the successor of BitShares, and served as the prototype of mechanism for EOS. In its prime, SteamIt, with its triple token structure and distributed proof of stake blockchain, was ahead of its time. However, the network was criticized for allowing bots and organized voting to game the reward system, which is true. In the summer of 2018, users also noticed the founders' wallets being emptied of Steam, suggesting a liquidation of funds. So they're basically just constantly selling off Steam. They have an automated system where the creators of Steam sell off their own Steam. And it's not making them much money, so they had to lay off 70%. Now, these bots and organized voting of the game reward system, there's lots of bots. So if any of you have a SteamIt account, you know what I'm talking about. You constantly receive free Steam messages, and like including Steam, from promoters, and it'll be, you know, like promote, you know, at promote post, and what you do is you send them one Steam. And then they have a ton of accounts that they made with Steam power in them, and then they automatically upvote your post when you send them Steam. And, you know, you send them the link to it in the memo, and they'll upvote your Steam. So you pay them one Steam, and sometimes you can get, like, you know, 80 cents back, but it upvotes your post and makes you, you know, puts you out there more. Some posts actually give you more money than you put in sometimes, although it's mixed between Steam power and actual Steam dollars. And so people game the reward system by doing that. They essentially run these systems where they receive a ton of Steam from all kinds of people, and then they upvote their posts. And most of the time, the upvotes just don't get you what you actually gave in to the Steam promoters. So, yeah, so I think that's why kind of Steam really didn't take off too well, because they have this voting system that just sort of rigs the system, and, you know, people that are just posting regular stuff, they get thrown down. You know, it's kind of a cryptocurrency platform, and when you post cryptocurrency content, it doesn't really get upvoted. But if you post a picture of a beautiful lake with a duck in it, it gets, you know, $178 in Steam. Why? So that's why I don't use BitTube or DTube, because I have to physically upload my videos to them, and nobody upvotes them, nobody follows me on there. So it's just not worth my time. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you know, you have to spend an hour doing it, and then you end up making 3 cents. So it's just not really worth it. So while the skepticism may not be entirely founded, Larimer has failed projects such as BitShares under his belt. The BitShares network is still functioning, although in the past it has been accused of exploiting the system of delegated proof of stake to benefit large holders. Yeah, that makes sense. The SteamIt ecosystem has been similar accusations, including the pre-mine and the early moves by the founders to reap gains and later sell off the asset. The SteamIt platform has also been criticized for giving too much influence to whales. Exactly. So neither the author nor the publication assumes any responsibility. Oh my God, I always read those. I always read that. I'm dumb. Anyway, yeah, so too much to whales, because if you have a lot of money, what you can do is you can buy a ton of Steam and then turn it all into Steam power. And when you have hundreds of thousands of Steam power, you can upvote posts, or you can upvote your own posts, And so, like, if you make a post, just some picture, and you upvote it, you'll instantly get several dollars or $10 or something in Steam because you have so much Steam power. So you essentially give yourself money by upvoting your own posts, and you can also choose to upvote other people's posts and give them money as well because you have so much Steam power. Although you can only upvote so often, every so often. Otherwise, your Steam power actually keeps going down, and then it recharges after so long. So Steam is a weird platform, and, you know, it's sort of made by the same people with EOS, and EOS turned out to be a total disaster. They received $4 billion. They kept 10% of the coins, which equaled another billion. They had $5 billion, and we ended up getting this cryptocurrency that they ended up having to use bounties for other people to hunt the bugs for them. And so far, we have seen nothing come from EOS. Yeah, sure, EOS is probably going up in price just with everything else, but at the moment, no use cases for it. I haven't seen any good smart contracts, any good dApps, if you will. Nothing on EOS. So $5 billion, that's what $5 billion gets you in the crypto world. And we also get Steam, a system that basically supports whales, and then they're just selling off all their Steam. So no wonder Steam is going down in price, or at least really, really fast. I mean, along with the bear market as well. But selling off all your Steam when you're the developer, that doesn't help. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't help at all. But that's all I have for you guys today. Just want to shill Sotko Fest for anybody still watching. December 1st, which is in, what, just like 3 days? 3 days, guys. 3 days. I'm super psyched. Sotko Fest is going to begin on Twitch and YouTube live at 12 noon. Arizona time. Catch me live, guys. I'm going to be playing games. I'm going to be talking about cryptocurrency. We're going to be talking about the community. I'm going to be screaming at people because they're not good enough sailors. I might throw my chair. I don't even know. There's going to be celebrities there. There's going to be thousands and thousands of people watching live. There may be fatalities. We have an ambulance secured. We have a third-party ambulance company secured for the expected fatalities. There's going to be everything, okay? I might be just drunk out of my gourd. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be December 1st through December 9th. There's still going to be crypto news videos, but I'm going to be live every single day for like 8 hours. In the description of this video, boom, go down. Oh, wait. Oh, wait. It's fine. It's fine. No, it's just fine. It's fine, guys. Okay, now that you're all the way down there, the second to last link is MrSotko. MrSotko's Twitch. twitch.tv/MrSotko. And I just got to shill it. Normally I don't shill anything at the end of my videos or anything, but I want you guys there. I want you guys live there. If you can't make it the first day, make it the second day. You know what I'm saying? If you can't make it right away at noon, come 3 hours later. You know what I'm saying? Fashionably late is okay at Sotko Fest. But I hope to see you guys there. Follow me on Twitch. Use that link. Follow me on Twitch. You'll get notifications noon December 1st, Saturday. I'll see you guys next time.